Alright, how y'all doing? I got a gun for you I think you might like. Now, you know my appreciation of the 22s, alright? Mostly the 22 long rifle. I know, like I've told you before, there's a whole mess of 22s, but my favorite's a long rifle, alright? Super cheap, and shoot, they got about a dozen different kinds you can get. Uh, let me show you this neat little gun. Now, this one doesn't belong to me. Alright, now this fella that loaned this gun to me, his name's Alan. I can't quite remember his last name, but if I did, I wouldn't let you know anyway. Check his gun out, alright? Check how sweet this little rifle is. Now, it may look like a regular standard 22 or stupid little rifle. You gotta look at this front sight. Look at this leaf sight they put on this, alright? It's just about as big as a spearhead. It's awesome. That's a leaf sight. You don't see that anymore. And then you look at this. Look at the rear side there. Look at the screw. I mean, you can adjust these sights. I mean, you have so many increments. You can turn these. You know, to where old Marlin, you got like 4. Click, click, click. You know, you can either move it up, 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 or down. And you kind of have to adjust yourself. This one, you can just squeak it up. I mean, just make it perfect. And especially with that front sight, shoot, awesome. Now, thing about this rifle is, I'm not going to say this is the last one or first one or the only one you're ever going to see in your lifetime, but what I'm going to tell you is, if you go to the rifle range, you're not going to see one of these. And that's why I'm showing it to you, because this one's kind of unique. Now, they call this a remington nylon 66. Okay, now you can kind of guess why they call it nylon, especially if you hold one. I wish you could feel it. It's just about as heavy as a ping pong ball filled with helium. Alright, it's very light. It feels like a toy, and honestly, it feels kind of cheap to the touch. I mean, just grabbing it up. I mean, nowadays a paintball gun honestly feels more fierce than this thing. Anywho, it's very accurate. I mean, it's got an actual legacy and a very good following of people who will swear by these. Okay, and I don't doubt them. I sure don't. Because I mean, nylon. We know today's. You know, let me put it back in perspective. This gun was produced in 1959 up into the 80s. Okay, back in '59, you know, we didn't know jack about nylon, really. No one knew. DuPont hadn't come out and said, hey, nylon's the stuff. Now, I mean, we use it in everything. From toothbrushes to seat belts to hairbrush to anything. I mean, we use nylon in everything. Ink pens, nothing, what. But, and guns, I mean, we use it. But back in, they didn't use plastic in guns. So, you know, when this guy came out, it was a nylon 66. It's surprising, but people bought it. And the reason they bought it was because actually you don't need a whole lot of lubricant on this little rifle. Okay? And these rifles were actually more successful up in the northern states. And there is stories, now I'm not going to dispute them, okay, of them taking big game down with these, okay, with their accuracy, and they just don't freeze up compared with their bigger bore rifles that they were carrying, and they'd have to bring this guy out and use it. All right, that's their story. They're sticking to it. I don't care. I like 22s. All right. Funny thing about this one, I think, is they call it a nylon 66. It ain't even made out of nylon. All this plastic bit. You got your buttstock, handle, foregrip. It's made out of Zytel, which is also made by DuPont. Back also in 1959. And that's actually what this is made out of. This is actually called Mohawk Brown. This buttstock and everything. This is Zytel plastic. It's a polymer. Now, I don't know why they didn't call it a Zytel 66, or maybe that just sounds too stupid, but it's not a nylon. Who cares? It's plastic. Who cares? This gun, like I said, it felt goofy when I first picked it up, and it's supposed to float, if you're on a raft and all that, and that's neat. And that was kind of a cool thing I heard about, and not one of turns on. And that wouldn't be why I bought it. And I sure would not have bought this gun. I would never have picked it up and said, shoot, this is the one. This is neat. This is great. That being said, after handling it and checking it out, now this thing is dirty as a dadgum pig pen. Ain't been clean in a while. I ain't gonna blame him. He probably don't shoot it much. It's probably been sitting up. But shoot, this gun, this is actually one of my Nito favorite 22s that you're not gonna see. You're just not gonna see one of these running around. And I sure would like to add this to my collection, or add one of them. One like this. But I sure would like for you guys to check these out. Or if you have one, let me hear about it. If you have some accuracy points you want to tell me about, and how good they are or how bad they are, let me know. Because, man, this is neat. Check this out. Check it out. Oh, yeah. Neat little gun, right? Alright then. You guys take care. Hope you enjoyed.